Government increases benefit sanctions because, look, even she's surprised at what bastards they're being. Let's have a look at the story from One News tonight.
New welfare sanctions are on the way, including controlling what people can spend their benefit money on. The government.
Do you get that? I want to stop it there. What they can spend it on. Remember that whole kind of nanny state telling us what to do, mandating us what to do. Now they're going to tell people what to spend their money on. Orwellian, all those people who are screaming Orwellian in the last government, you're still going to scream it for this? I hope so. I hope you're consistent.
Government's announced the measures as its traffic light system of benefit obligations and sanctions comes into effect. Political editor Mikey Sherman reports.
55-year-old Deborah Russell receives a benefit after accommodation costs. She's left with $82 a week.
I mean, most of my things get paid for by the government, which is great, but $82 doesn't go far, does it? When you need to buy clothes and things.
Even the smallest of luxuries add up.
You know, I like to get a packet of biscuits or some decaf coffee.
She's one of 380,000 people on a benefit, up almost 30,000 on last year. The government today announcing some tough love.
You have obligations to actually...
I was just going to say, and I know maybe this is a bit unfair, but walking into a meeting with that much of a smile on your face, that there, realising what you're about to do is going to put more pressure on the more and most vulnerable in New Zealand. And that's the fucking smile you're walking into this press conference with. Do these guys not have any idea about messaging? It's like, this is a somber announcement, but basically they're so aware that their base loves this kind of benefit bashing. That's the smile you get when you're walking in to deliver it. That, not a clue. Not a clue, people.
Today announcing some tough love.
You have obligations to actually look for work, to show up for interviews, to show up for the seminars and make sure that you're compliant.
Under a new traffic light system, those who comply with their benefits are in the green, but fail an obligation like a workshop or meeting and it's on to orange with 5 days to sort it out. Failed that and it's straight to red, slapped with sanctions.
Instead of going straight to a reduction of their benefit, we're providing an alternative.
New sanctions include doing community service work and having 50% of your benefit put onto an electronic money card, which can only be used in certain stores. The ACT Party took the idea from Australia.
When they introduced electronic cards, there was less money on drugs, alcohol and tobacco and gambling, more money on baby food and nappies.
Let's make it really clear that compulsory money management is about control and punishment. It hasn't worked in Australia, and it definitely won't work in Aotearoa.
I think they're being mean. I really do.
Deborah calling it like she sees it.
Because people have to have a life, don't they? They have to go out and have a coffee if they want to. They should be able to go and do something nice for themselves.
ACT also tried but failed to impose it on women who have more children while on a benefit.
You feel these guys. So if you have a second child you're on a benefit, ACT wanted you to be like, no, I'm sorry, mate, no more money for you. Remember, and maybe not ACT, but this is the political world that sells themselves, and I'm saying that with air quotes around it, as the family-friendly side. You know, this is the side of the politics that conservative Christians sit on, where they're like, this is where the anti-abortionists sit, that sent out tweets rejoicing in Roe versus Wade get overturned. This is the side of politics where those people live. And what they want to do is punish a newborn child for the actions of a mum and a dad. I'm not even saying those actions are bad, just the reality of having it. What they're going to do is punish the child. So they're not family friendly. They just want to put their knee on the neck of the vulnerable. They want to make life harder for poorer people and easier and better for richer people. Joey, you got anything before we keep going?
David Seymour is possibly one of the worst people in the world. Like, you can't have a cup of coffee. You can't have a packet of biscuits. You're getting money from the state. No nice things. can't even have a roll in the hay with your partner. Because if you have a kid, you lose your benefit. It's fucking eugenics. And it's just like, you can't be poor and happy,
Yeah.
or even poor and comfortable. What
Yeah.
happens if your oven dies? What happens? Kid needs a new jacket. Can't afford it without months of budgeting. And even then, we've stuck half of your money on a card that can only be used at some businesses. And I'm sure there's not lobbying that goes into that.
Exactly what I was going to say. How do you think they're going to choose those businesses, I wonder?
Your fucking poverty card, which will probably make a really gross color so it sticks out in your wallet, so everybody knows that you're poor. And we will assign an ACT Party volunteer to walk behind you with a bell, ringing the bell and shouting, "Look at the poor person trying to buy biscuits." This is the world that David Seymour has a massive heart-on for.
I do want to say something just to make sure people know we're accurate. And I know that you didn't mean it this way, but when you said they will cut your benefit, what he wanted to do was not give you any more on your benefit if you had more children. So if you're getting $300, $500 a week with 2 kids, I don't know what numbers are. If you're having 3, that's the level you're going to get. So I know you weren't meaning it like they'd get rid of it, but because there'll be the wanker out there that goes, "That's not money." All right, we'll keep going.
Question is, what is the role of the government and the taxpayer?
To keep its citizens safe and healthy as much as they can. So they probably should have enough money to live off and not have to like not be able to buy chicken that week because it's too expensive. Can I? No? Okay. We'll keep going.
The role of the New Zealand taxpayer is to pay their share into making a whole society happier, healthier, educated, housed. All of those things I'm fine with. It's like this argument of, who's going to pay for school lunches? I fucking am. And I'm happy to do it. As a childless person that gets nothing out of it, I am happy to make sure that people are fed, even if they're out of work. And according to people, should be whipped in the streets for being unemployed. And we say this at a time that the unemployment rate is going up.
Yeah. More poorer people are now going to be treated worse because there are more poorer people. And remember, when we were talking to Craig Rennie last week, economist from the CTU, he was very clear. It is an active choice by this government to have the unemployment go over 5%. There's always going to be some increase in unemployment, but to have it go up over 5%, these are choices this government is making to make that happen. So they're creating more unemployed people than there needs to be, and then they're putting their knee on the neck of those unemployed people to try and get as many of them off a benefit as they can, because then they'll go off and quietly die in a ditch. And that'll be one tick that we won't have to pay anymore. All right, let's keep going.
The taxpayer to keep giving you a pay increase for each child that you have.
While the new sanctions are targeting those on the job seeker allowance, any beneficiary, including those on sole parent support, will be targeted.
So I'd say to those parents, it's pretty simple. We've got common sense rules around what you need to do.
Go and get a fucking job. Put your kids in daycare. Go on, get on to it. What, you won't be any better financially off? No, I don't care. Go and get a job. Put your kids in daycare.
To comply.
While the traffic light system comes into force today, the new sanctions will begin next year. Mikey Sherman, One News.
All right, Chewy. A lot there, sir. We've said a lot already. Is there more you want to add?
Here's your poverty card.
Yeah.
Bright fucking teal.
Yeah.
So that'll stick out like dog's balls. Look, these sort of schemes have been tried overseas. They're right. Heavily used in the Northern Territory in Australia. It's quite a large Indigenous population in the Northern Territory. Just saying. Food stamps in the US, same thing.
Yep. And
it is just, you are poor. You cannot possibly be the best judge of how to spend your money. We know that if we give you money, you're just going to take it to the TAB, or you're going to take it to the liquor store, that sort of thing. It is tarring everybody with the same fucking brush that we all have to get a say on what you buy. As someone that was raised by at one point 2 unemployed parents, I have never seen people make their money go further than unemployed people.
Mm-hmm.
Like like this and Seymour's comments about people on beneficiaries having more children reeks of eugenics. It reeks, again, it's nanny state stuff. And
No,
I
no.
think it's
It can't be that. It can't be nanny state. They're against
Can't
the nanny
possibly
state,
do
Joey. Can't be that. It wouldn't be
isn't
nanny
it
state.
funny when the right wing accuse someone, it's always projection.
Yeah.
You can't do a nanny state, but by Jesus, we want to do a fucking
Yep.
big nanny state.
You can't
We-
do
we want
bureaucracy.
the
Watch our
biggest
bureaucracy,
nanny, the biggest nanny state. Look, they have absolutely trashed our unemployment stats. We're looking at 5 or 6% pretty handily, I would say.
5.5, yeah, probably.
And this is what we said when they started talking tough on beneficiaries before the election, that they are starting to talk this when we're at record low unemployment. And as soon as they're going to get in, they're going to sack a whole bunch of people. There's going to be that cascading tipping point of people losing their jobs. There are going to be more people on the benefit, on the job seeker, exactly at the time that they're going to bring those sanctions and stuff in. That's exactly what's happened.